Hey guys, so welcome to another live video for the day. And this is something that's a bit interesting, no? Let's wait for people also to join us so that we get full context of the entire progression of the video. But this was something that was very, very interesting in my opinion because this was something I did not expect. This was something that no one knew that at the start of 2021, Jollibee would be in acquisition. Jollibee would start continue to buy stuff. No, as you all know, over the past years, they started to acquire. As you all know, also they did Smash Burger, they did Torta Frontera, they also did Coffee Bean, and then they also did Panda Express. But coming off a pandemic, I didn't expect them to go also in the offensive. And I did my morning monitoring of the markets around when markets open 9:30. Then I started to check 10:30, etc. Then I went into my meeting at 11 a.m. already. So after my meeting ended around somewhere before the market closed, I saw the disclosure. It was something that was a bit interesting because even for me, no, I pretty much was I like Yoshinoya, especially when I would go there and eat Yoshinoya overseas. No, as you all know, it's a Japanese brand, so very it's something that I think is very very interesting for Jollibee to have exposure on. So now, and we now have people joining us. Patrick Miguel is here, and then you have an OFW observer from Taiwan who's also joining us. So I think I'm gonna do more and more of this live videos. Also, a combination of this because a lot of people are also liking it. So comment below if you guys are ready, and comment if you guys want me to discuss this even more. But I segmented this podcast into three. I want to talk about Jollibee and Yoshinoya. Then also, I wasn't able to make a video on this, and since I was not able to make a video on this, I thought na, sige, gawan ko na rin ng video to. I want to talk about Jollibee's earnings for 2020. Then, after that, I want to talk about its technicals kasi feeling ko yun din yung inaabangan ng mga tao sa technicals. But before that, allow me also to greet people who are joining us so that hindi kompleto to pag walang greeting. We now have 381 people live. 300 plus in Facebook, 80 plus in YouTube. Facebook is beating YouTube right now. Ano man, YouTube people, what's up with that? Okay, Prince Baktad, hello to you. Judes Renola, hello to you. Shout out. Willan Osorio, shout out to you. Janer Diano, you have Patrick Miguel. Sabi niya, Jollibee, bida ang saya. Then you have JFC, Joseph Salonga, JFC lang ang malakas. You have Patrick Miguel, this is why you're super rich. Ano po si grabe naman, sobra. You have Meg Suzuki from Japan. Oy, Meg Suzuki, natsubukan mo ba yung Yoshinoya dyan sa Japan? Super. I actually like their gyudon. It's really good. Nicolette Escañas, wow, Tim Huan, and then this. Yeah, Tim Huan also, I forgot. But I'll discuss the difference between the deal for Tim Huan and Yoshinoya. No? Allow me to share that as well. And since this is a live session, what we can do at the end of this, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them and then I'll try to answer it so that ito yung nagagawa ng live na hindi ko nagagawa during a normal video na canned already, na recorded. I won't be able to answer your questions live. And I think that's what makes it exciting. And pati pag live, merong shout out. Hello to you, Joseph Salonga. Nino Tuason, hello. Mark's ready na daw. Nicole, first time to join live. Yeah, di naman ako nagla-live araw-araw. No? From time to time, I try to do it on a regular basis. Sabi ni LT, it's because they're targeting a certain number of stores which can only be achieved through an acquisition and JV, which is also correct. Also, yan na, madami na. Oh my gosh, dumadami. I can't be able to read all of this, no? Sige, but yeah, totoo sabi ni Mark, supportan natin si Mark. If you like this video and you are from YouTube, smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. We have 434 people live, 89 in YouTube, and then the remaining 300 plus are joining us in Facebook. Anyways, let's do this. Let's go. Hanap lang ako ng magandang iwan natin na ano. Sige, we'll end it with this. Hello, Rosh Balilla from Dubai. Anyways, so this is what I've mentioned, this is what I want to discuss, the JFC and Yoshinoya joint venture. So please do note that this is a joint venture. It's different from the deal of Tim Ho Wan, where yung ginawa ng Jollibee sa Tim Ho Wan is basically lahat ng Tim Ho Wan for the whole coverage area na meron Tim Ho Wan, Jollibee owns that already, or at least has a large portion of share of that. This one, Jollibee just has operations for Yoshinoya for the Philippines. So whatever they do for the Philippines, yun lang yung scope ng deal na to. The Yoshinoya that you have in Japan, that's purely that's purely still owned by the Japanese company there. Difference in Tim Ho Wan, lahat ng Tim Ho Wan, Jollibee, at least Jollibee has a huge chunk of shares on it. So something like that. So you guys have context as well. Anyways, the news is, as you all know, ginang headline yun yung topic natin, Jollibee and Yoshinoya, no, Jollibee and Yoshinoya are going into a joint venture. And the goal on why they're doing this, I saw someone already put it in the comment section, is that they just plan to open 50 stores in the Philippines. And that's quite a tall tale. And this is something that they won't do naman for the short term. This is not something that they will do for the whole of 2021. This is something they plan to ease into the pipeline. Please do note that because of the pandemic, one of the biggest hit still are retail chains, especially yung mga fine dining restaurants, which is Jollibee naman is not a fine dining restaurant, and Yoshinoya is more of a casual dining chain. So at least they're not in that particular level. But that being said, given that sa mga taga-Pilipinas na nandito na nanonood, you all know that lockdown measures are not as tight as April 2020, pero it's still not back to the normal that what it was in 2019. Ngayon, depending on where we are, I think the restrictions for dine-in is around 50 to 75%. So that being said, it's still massively hit. But that being said also, they still have this goal to put up 50 stores in the Philippines, not just for 2020, but something prolonged. That's something that they plan to do in the pipeline. Anyways, the joint venture is for 130 million pesos. If I remember up, I can't remember the exact figures, but when Shakey's went into an IPO, what they computed at that time was they were raising money also to build new stores. And as they were building new stores, the money that they were raising and allotting to get a store was around 20 million. I'll check my previous data and my videos for that. But this joint venture that they have disclosed is around 130 million pesos with the component of Yoshinoya in the Philippines and Jollibee. So I'll make another video that this, as you all know, before this also, Yoshinoya was already operating in the Philippines, but they had another partner over, I think, a 20-year period. And now they're entering this with Jollibee. Anyways, please do note also that this is Jollibee's first entry into into Japanese food. They had other brands. So Jollibee, as you all know, is very, very Filipino, but the concept is also very, very American. What they did, as what I've mentioned sa Tim Ho Wan, was they bought all of the Tim Ho Wan stores in the region. But I want to note this: what they did this model already for some of their other businesses. Sample, Panda Express. So what they did, Panda Express, for those who have been in the US, at some portions in the US, this is like a fast foods. Nakikita ko to sa food court and then meron din siya mga standalone restaurants na parang for those who have not eaten in Panda Express yet, para siyang Chowking. Kung sa Pilipinas meron lemon chicken, sa kanila orange chicken, and then yung mga normal na may salamin, tapos may kukuha ka ng ulam, tapos pagsasama-sama mo with fried rice or pancit. So yun, that's a concept that was in the States that Jollibee did not buy the entire Panda Express, but they just bought Panda Express to be here in the Philippines. So again, this Yoshinoya is their first entrant to the Japanese food space. But I just want to note this also. They also did this to Highlands Coffee. Highlands Coffee is Vietnamese, and people have been talking about Coffee Bean as Jollibee's entry towards the coffee space. No, but way before they did Coffee Bean, they also had Highlands, which is a larger and bigger brand in Vietnam, which meron din sa Pilipinas, but not as big as what is in Vietnam, and not as big, of course, as what you see versus the Starbuckses of the world, and also versus Coffee Bean also. And another brand that I'd like to note is this, Burger King. Please do note that all of the Burger Kings here in the Philippines is pretty much owned by Jollibee. So their exposure to Burger King, they don't own the Burger Kings around the world, but they just have the franchise to operate Burger King here in the Philippines. So with this model, this is not something that they have done for the first time. They've been doing this over and over and over and over and over. They get successful brands around the world. They get brands that have a certain market already altogether to help them expand their reach. So please do note that Jollibee has a lot of ambitions to continually be one of the biggest and fastest growing chains in the world that should have at least a fighting chance up against the big ones like Subway, Starbucks, and McDonald's. Anyways, let's continue. Comment below if you're learning, and comment if you like this webinar type of setup. And I just realized that I just wanted to make this a live session na lang kasi kung tinip ko pa to tapos record ko to, baka midnight ko na mapalabas, and kung midnight ko na to mapalabas baka hindi nyo na panoorin. So I just wanted to do this so to give you as much value for you as well. So anyways, one thing though that I'd like to note is this. The disclosure said that Yoshinoya has 3 stores, but if you have been in the Philippines for quite some time, you know that there's more than 3 stores of Yoshinoya. That means also through the years and because of the pandemic, we have seen Yoshinoya somehow shrink. Madaming mga stores sa kanila na nag-start na magsara also. So as of the last disclosure, there's 3. So from what I know, yung sa Glorieta, yun yung closest kasi from where I am. I think they're open, and then I think there's one in Mega Mall. So there's one more, but I don't know kung saan yun. Pero I would normally eat in Yoshinoya also when I'm in Glorieta because kahit carbs yun, I really like their yung beef, ano nila, yung gyudon nila. Very, very good. Sa Papa, I get the ones with extra meat. But anyways, so I think from what Jollibee's task is to move it from 3 stores to 50. So they have a tall tail to increase Yoshinoya from 3 to 47 spread across spread across a period of time in the midst also of the pandemic. So, and what's interesting also about this is, I'm not sure if you've noticed yung style ng Jollibee is they are aside from starting their own, majority of what they've done already now is they're just acquiring brands already. And what I've noticed also is they're trying to leverage on their skill set already of making it efficient, making stores run well, and then they will bring their expertise on how they would make the stores be efficient and essentially start to earn more. And for those who've watched the videos that I made, that's their plan for Smash Burger in the US. That's why they've been closing stores there. And that's their plan also to CBTL. For CBTL, the goal is to turn them around, make them profitable, and over the long term, contribute to Jollibee's bottom line. Anyways, let's continue. So my take on all of this is basically, number one, for the short term, I don't think this has a significant impact on Jollibee's finances. Assuming that their earnings do well, Yoshinoya performs well, I don't think it will have a very, very significant impact yet because unlike Smash Burger had hundreds of stores that Jollibee absorbed. CBTL had more than 1,000. If you add them, no, parang second na siya sa laki ng footprint ng CBTL versus yung sa Jollibee. This one, it just has 3 stores. So kahit mag-add sila na mag-add or the stores that they have contribute and earn more, it will not really make a large dent in Jollibee's bottom line, but I think it adds diversification on their current portfolio of offerings. And I don't know, this connection to a Japanese chain might bridge the gap also on Jollibee entering the Japanese market. I don't know. I don't know if that's the battle plan there, but I think it's very, very interesting because I don't know if you know this. There are a lot of CBTL branches sa mga bansa na wala pang Jollibee. And now they're operating, or at least they own CBTL. Now they have a shot also to know what's happening in the local market and have a sense and have a feel of possibly thinking of putting in Jollibee also in those particular countries. So anyways, let's continue. When I mentioned that it has no significant impact on Jollibee's finances, because if you look at it right now worldwide, Philippine stores, which are composed primarily of Jollibee, Red Ribbon, Greenwich, Mang Inasal, then the local branches of Tim Ho Wan, Burger King, etc. Plus, add all of their stores abroad, the massive stores that they have in the US, in the Middle East, China, and Vietnam, and all of the other countries, combined na rin with all of the other brands. So from Red Ribbon to Chowking to all of the other companies that they have 5,800 stores. Yoshinoya tatlo lang. So 5,800. It really won't, it's a drop in a bucket. And I'll tell you later on more of their expansion plans also for 2021, but it's not as big it won't make a really, really big splash. Anyways, let's continue. What I think is so interesting about that is, from what I've read on the report, is that they plan to leverage online and delivery, which is, syempre, gyudon, it's something that can easily nakapack pa yun. Alam niyo naman, nasa bowl yun, rice, gyudon, takip, deliver. I think they will leverage on that. And have being lean, no, having 3 stores but maximize delivery, I think will lessen their cost. Yung advantage nga, if you leverage on delivery, if you've watched my videos on cloud kitchen models, is that lesser overhead mo. You don't have to rent a large amount of space. You don't need to have a large amount of people anymore to be able to do this. But if they leverage online, they get to somehow multiply their reach. But again, given that their stores are in Metro Manila, the whole narrative of this is Metro Manila lang talaga sila. But I think this is a good way for them to also extend their brand offerings. And the reason why I say that is think about how a lot of those listed companies also na may retail stores, na may brand, that are doing synergies towards each other. Nakita nyo, Shakey's, andun na rin yung milk tea brand nila that they're selling and offering, and then katabi nila, I've seen a branch ng Shakey's tsaka Peri Peri, which they also own. And Max is also doing it. Max, Pancake House, Yellow Cab, then meron din Krispy Kreme, then sometimes meron what's their Japanese store? I forgot. Basta they have a Japanese store near Burger Circle. Tabi-tabi sila doon. Comment below. Naalala niyo ba yun? Ano yung nasa may Burger Circle sa BGC? Na may Krispy Kreme doon? I forgot. Basta Krispy Kreme, Max, Krispy Kreme, Yellow Cab, Pancake House. I forgot the other one, but they could make synergies across it. But again, I think the battle plan here is for them to leverage online and delivery. Anyways, hitting 50 stores also won't make a massive contribution to the bottom line. Ayun, tama si Charlene Rodenas, it's Teriyaki Boy. Hitting 50 stores won't make a massive dent on their bottom line, assuming that they have 5,800 stores and they still plan to open more. Kasi please remember, while all of this is happening, Jollibee is still opening stores in different parts around the world. And if you've watched the videos that I made also over the past months, they've opened in the UK, they've opened in Canada, they've opened in Texas, they've opened in Italy, and they won't stop. So if they just plan to, they have 3 stores of Teriyaki Boy and then may konting madadagdag, but they're opening massively dun sa mga other brands and businesses nila. So far, no, at least for the short term, hindi ganon kalaki yung dagdag. Sabi ni Amir Maktol, naggutom na daw siya bigla, nag-crave sa gyudon. Ingat lang kasi carbs yan, damihan yung beef, bawasan yung rice kasi yung beef and protein is, in my opinion, okay yung carbs yung nagpapachubby kasi nagiging sugar siya. Not health advice because I'm not a health expert. Anyways, Jollibee's earnings naman. So transition tayo. We talked about Teriyaki Boy. I just wanna before I answer this, I just wanna have a sense for the room. What's your take on this deal? Do you think this is good for Jollibee? Do you think this is bad for Jollibee? Does this make you more interested about Jollibee more, or this is not as good for you, so Jollibee? And then I'll greet also some people right here. Yan, si Nino, si Dolores, si Arden, big fan. Si Ivory nandyan din. Si Emmanuel, hello to you. Si Julian, hello. Shoutout, ito na yung shoutout mo. Si Kat Deterra, hello. Leo Acer, hello to you. Japet Castillo. Zach Nepomuceno, hello. Bella Lau, yun, may YouTube na. So we now have 613 people live, 205 are in YouTube, 400 plus are from Facebook, and 0 from TikTok kasi hindi ko na-on yung TikTok ko. Jonas, walang stocks Bericas by tonight. Eto na yun. Nomer Galang from HK, hello to you. Chris Yokohama, hello. Meg Suzuki, yan, sige, let's continue. So, I want to hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts, guys? Do you think this is good for Jollibee, or this is something that's not so good for Jollibee? Is this something that's positive for Jollibee, or is this something that may not really push them to go higher over the next few years? Now, I want to talk about their earnings. They just disclosed it, and I was planning to make a video on it kaso hindi ko siya nagawa because I was totally busy also trying to juggle a lot of the things that I have been doing. Anyways, and yung cryptocurrency niyan, so sobrang cryptocurrency nakakapuyat yan. Buti nga kahapon US was in a holiday, so US markets were closed. Pero yung crypto tuloy-tuloy, and kanina nag 50,000 halos yung Bitcoin. So it was very, very exciting. Anyways, so Jollibee, made 2.04 billion pesos in the fourth quarter of 2020, meaning first quarter 2020 last year they lost money. Second quarter 2020 they lost money, which was one of their biggest losses for 2020. Then third quarter 2020 they lost money. Then suddenly fourth quarter they suddenly started to turn it around, meaning we're now seeing also recovery, not just in other sectors, but medyo nahuli yung Jollibee from a quarterly aspect that other companies were recovering faster or other sectors. Jollibee, it's nice to know, it's nice to see that fourth quarter they started to earn. So from losing money first quarter, losing money second quarter, losing money third quarter, fourth quarter 2020, they started to turn it around already and made a profit. So Jollibee earned 2.04 billion pesos for the fourth quarter of 2020. However, looking at it from a comparing it from 2019, it was 9.8% lower than the fourth quarter of 2019. So meaning, please remember when it comes to when it comes to investing, also you look at expectations, then you look at how they performed also in the previous year. So please do note though that it's expected that you can't really expect Jollibee to earn more for 2020 fourth quarter, because they close down stores, and then not all stores can have full dine-in capacity, and that's why their earnings for the fourth quarter of 2020 is 9.8% lower than 2019. So which I believe is something that's expected. Anyways, looking at it for a whole year though, they lost 11.5 billion pesos for the whole year of 2020. This already factors in the 2 billion pesos na kinita nila for the fourth quarter. It's just that in first, second, and third quarter, the losses there were just really massive that they lost money still, in spite of them turning a profit for the fourth quarter of the year. Anyways, that being said, also a sign of good news is that 96% of Jollibee's global stores are now open. And if you follow the narrative, mas nauna nga nagbukas at nag-open up sa more developed economies, sa US, sa Europe, sa Canada, more than sa Philippines, and lalo na sa Vietnam, because Vietnam, Jollibee has a large concentration there. At least they have subsidiaries there, and Vietnam was virtually not as affected as the Philippines. Then China, as you all know, first quarter sila yung una natamaan, but they suddenly started to reopen second half of the year. So this is a good sign, seeing Jollibee and 96% of their stores open. One thing that they did also know, this looks a bit bad in a way that they lost, a lot of jobs were lost, but they had to close down 486 stores so that mabawasan yung losses nila, mabawasan yung cost din nila. Then operating this much, nagbabayad ka ng X amount of money operating these stores, they had to close 486 stores. So if you're asking bakit may mga nagsara na Jollibee, it was also a way for them to salvage they kept the ones that were strong, they focused on the ones that were doing well, and they closed the ones that were not doing so well. And since they're pivoting a lot for online e-commerce, cloud kitchen, ordering via Foodpanda, ordering via Jollibee's website, which by the way, Jollibee spent billions also, or a large chunk of money to pivot their online stores, also to pivot their business to cater to the new normal. So ngayon, because of what's happening, minsan kasi may mga sa isang lugar, napansin yun, may Jollibee sa isang kanto, then sa kasunod na kanto may Jollibee ulit, then sa sunod na kanto may Jollibee ulit. I think what they've done is they've consolidated areas na medyo magkakalapit yung Jollibee, and they just focused on having one or two in a particular area, and they closed down the ones that were not as well, which is a good move for them. Because of this move, they were able to save around 2.6 billion pesos, which is quite significant as well. Anyways, part of the things that they did also was they held off on 8 billion pesos on capital expenditures, meaning they tried to shore in cash to also protect themselves. And we've been talking about this last year that cash is king, cash was king, that they needed to have a strong balance sheet to either make themselves liquid, to protect themselves, or to also take advantage of opportunities. And yung ginawa nila that last year, 8 billion pesos na dapat pinaggastosan nila, they held off on it a bit so that they could stay afloat also, or at least remain in a better position as well. So there. what's so interesting is we've been talking about this over and over also, is that the good companies try to stand so that when things get better, they come off the gates running already. They come off the gates stronger. And I think this is what's so interesting about Jollibee, is that they plan to spend 12.2 billion pesos, which is 22% already higher than their capital expenditures for 2019. So meaning they are on the offensive already for 2021. They are already trying to push, to move faster, to move stronger, and to do and to be aggressive. Maybe look for, I don't know, maybe expand in certain areas where they see a greater potential, or similar to Yoshinoya, they use the money also to a lot for certain brands that they would like. Because if you've seen Jollibee's track record, they've been expanding and maximizing and utilizing the Jollibee brand massively, and then maximizing also the ones that are very very strong brands nila from Mang Inasal. But they've also been acquiring different brands that are not initially on their current portfolio. And of course they're gonna expand yung Tim Ho Wan brand pa nila, CBTL. And when they start to pivot Smash Burger, I think that would be something that would be good for them, because the goal is close the bad stores, maximize the good stores, make the stores efficient for them to possibly earn more. Anyways, what's interesting is this: for 2021, in the midst still of the pandemic, they closed down. Nakalimutan ko na yung sinabi ko kanina. They closed down 486 stores last year, but they're opening 450 stores this year. But what's interesting about that is this: you 450 stores that they will open, a large chunk of them will focus outside the Philippines, which is, if you notice it, mas nauna sila nag-open, mas lumalabas yung mga tao, mas may consumer confidence doon, and which is also part of their goal to earn at least 50% of their revenue coming from overseas. So this is still something very, very interesting, because this gives a shot for a local company like Jollibee to be a global player. And I think that's what their goal has been over the past years as well. So comment below if you're learning, comment if this is something that's helping you. Before I go to the technicals, for those who want to join me and learn about technical analysis, we have around less than 2 weeks left before our Zoom technical analysis course, which will be in the end of February and the first week of March. It will all be during the weekends. It will be 4 sessions, 4 hours each per weekend. The link is in the description below for those who want to join us. For those in yung link in the description below is in YouTube. For those who are in Facebook, wala akong link na nalagay sa Facebook. Just comment technical analysis, and then I'm gonna try to make my way to give you the details on it. But it's on the end of February weekend, and then it's on the first week of March. So these are for people who want to learn from a full training setup. And for those who want to learn via books, I have books in the description below. 5 books via Shopee. They can be delivered to wherever you are as well. So there, before I continue and end this with technical analysis, I want to greet some of you again. Ayan na, si Nomer from Hong Kong, si Ben Raya from Taiwan. Hello to you, Chris Yokohama. Si Meg Suzuki is back again. Romina 16, hello, first time to join daw. You have Joel TV, good vibes. Thank you. I'm glad that this is giving you good vibes. Leia Belasa, hello. Maan, ano yun? Dami, wait. Natabunan ako. Hi, sir. Hi, sir. Haniel Abalos, shout out from Quezon City. Tondo, there, Taiwan. Sorry, it's just too fast. Yung from my platform kung saan ko na-check, sobrang bilis yung pag-message ninyo, and I can't see most of it. But yon, RC from Saudi Arabia, Alcobar, Saudi Arabia, Edwin, who's a newbie daw. Then you have Ed Garduque from Dasmariñas, Cavite. Jefferson Mendez, excited for technicals. So yon. So looking at the technicals of Jollibee, and by the way, no, before I continue with this, if you're watching me for the first time, please do note that even though we talk about Jollibee, this is not us telling you to buy Jollibee. This is not us telling you that, oh, bilhin yung Jollibee. Never ever buy a stock just because it's discussed in YouTube. Never ever transact just because you hear it off the internet. Never ever talk about, or never ever decide on something just because nadinig nyo sa kaibigan nyo. You will lose in the stock market if you listen to what other people are saying. You will lose if you follow what I'm saying. You have to use this information as data, but you have to decide it on your own. You have to do your own due diligence, and you have to research, because at the end of the day, similar to investing in Bitcoin, similar to buying Tesla stock, it's a conviction game. The more you have conviction in what you're getting into, the better the decisions you will make. Anyways, Jollibee today closed at 179 pesos per share. It was down 0.2786%. And with that, value turnover was at 92 million pesos. Not really something that's very striking, because we've seen high flyers that pushed up over the past few months hit over a billion. We've seen how Dito, ASEN, rallied and pushed with large amount of volume, and ganun din yung mga second liners from BSC, APL, PHA, large strides up, then large volume over the past days. This one, in spite of the disclosure, value turnover was high, but not really something that would cause you to jump off your feet na sobrang dami nag-transact nito. So yun lang, value turnover 92 million pesos. Sabi ni A-Reet from Japan, I love your videos. Anyways, Carlos Salazar, anong link yung hindi ma-access? Sige, I'll try to fix it. Balikan nyo na lang after this video. Sige, I'll type it na nga. Wait lang. I'll type it here I'll type it in the comment section so you get better context on it as well. Ayan. So it's in the comment section. That's the link to join the seminar. But anyways, let's continue. So value turnover was 92 million pesos, and this is the technicals. So if you notice it, wala masyadong nagbago from what we talked about during our stocks by request session the past days. That if you notice it, the downward trending sloping line for Jollibee is still there. It's still progressing from a high of 212 from the breakdown of 186. It's forming a lower high, and it's also forming a lower low. So measuring it from November, it looks like that it's forming a downtrend. As of this time that we're filming this video also, the 20-day moving average and the 50-day moving average are all bearish. By the time we're filming this video also, short term naman from the start, at least mid-2021, it's still consolidating. You have 176 as your level of support, and then you have 186 as your level of resistance. That's the short-term consolidation. But what's something that you should think about is look at this downward trending slope, because if it does not break that, there's a shot that the 176 support level may not hold, which is also where the 100-day moving average is. If that does not hold, the next possible narrative of where Jollibee can fall is the 168 peso mark. So putting it all together, Jollibee is forming a downward counter trend. Jollibee's 50-day moving average is bearish. Jollibee's 20-day moving average is bearish. Jollibee over the short term is consolidating 176 support, as what I've plotted here, supported also by the 100-day moving average. Then you have a resistance at the 186.54 level, supported by the 50-day moving average. But MACD is showing you that it's flat, but overall narrative is below zero, bearish. RSI is not anymore at oversold levels. So that's where we are for Jollibee. It also just shows that after its move up September, October, November, December, that's broken, and now it's starting to reverse downward and consolidating over the short term. I guess what you need to watch out for is the 176 level, because if that holds, then possibly you could see Jollibee consolidate 176 support, 186 resistance, and it could hover at that level. But if it does not hold, then we may see longer strides downward for Jollibee as well. So yun. What do you guys think? I want to know your comments on this, and let me know. Do you guys like Yoshinoya? Do you think Jollibee will turn around for 2021? Will they do better? I want to hear your thoughts. If you're on Facebook, put it in the comment section. If you're on YouTube, put it in the comment section. If you're in Facebook also and you think this gives value for you, appreciate it if you can share it to your friends. If you're on YouTube, smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. As what I said also a while ago, please do not buy, sell, hold, or avoid the stock just because it's discussed here in YouTube. Please take the time to study. It is your money. It's your responsibility. So there. Now I'm opening the floor for some questions. If you guys have anything that you guys want to ask regarding Jollibee, I'm gonna try to answer it for you. I'll probably take a few minutes for this. So the floor is open. Questions are now on. Habang walang question, I will try to greet some people. Okay, Romeo, hello to you. Jefferson Mendez, Joshua DP. We have 563 people live, 233 from YouTube, 300 plus from Facebook, and zero from TikTok. Okay, Mac Magsombol, JFC will do better long-term global expansion. I think that's their plan. Can Jollibee double with this venture? Probably. As what I've mentioned at the start, no. Yoshinoya's footprint is not so big compared to the other stores that they have. Si Patrick Miguel, di ko alam kung nanluloko lang. Nanluloko lang siya. Sabi niya, paano maging kasing gwapo nyo? I can neither confirm nor deny that. Princess Pasqua, you're welcome. Yoshinoya's performance before, how is it? I've mentioned that already at the start of the video that their footprint here in the Philippines has become a bit smaller also. Where's this? You have Joben Villaster from URE. GMTV. For Converge, no, we talked about this. Medyo lumalayo tayo sa topic ng Jollibee, no, but we talked about this yesterday in Stocks by Request that they made a disclosure already. You can check PSE Edge on that. So, by the way, my tip for everyone, no, every time you want to see disclosures, please try to go to PSE Edge because that's where all the legit disclosures are that are coming from the investor relations department of those companies. You have Marvin Folero, hello to you. Quality content. Ulysses, Jollibee is still doing well here in London. Sir Mars. Ulysses, san Jollibee ka nakapunta? I know there's one in Covent Garden. Nung pagpunta ko sa Covent Garden, 2018, wala pang Jollibee noon. Pero that's very, very interesting because I think no, Covent Garden is in a very, very strategic location na madami talagang pumupunta doon. And it's attracting Filipinos and other people who are interested to at least try Jollibee. Gerard Akap, marami kaming Pinoy dito sa Saudi na ngayon lang nakarinig ng Yoshinoya na not good move by Jollibee, I think. Gerard, kasi Yoshinoya is predominantly a Japanese brand. It's very, very popular in Japan and some parts of Asia as well. So yun. Patrick's Music Club, hello to you guys from UAE, Ground Zero. Mark Magsambol, give this video a like. Julius Gavino, ano sa tingin yung fair market value ng JFC? It would be interesting. It would be interesting to note that when they start to earn once again, please do note that yung pagbagsak nila ng earnings or pagkuha nila ng losses last year was predominantly because the whole world was shut down. So what I would want to see and watch for Jollibee is how they leverage yung online, how they earn from e-commerce platforms, and how they make money from delivery, and in the same way how they can complement their existing stores for it. So there. Ari asking about the TP. We looked at that sa charts ng Jollibee and it's very, very clear yung short-term movement niya. Just please take note of the short-term support and resistance of Jollibee for if you're asking for a short-term movement. How strong is the brand of Yoshinoya in the Philippines? I think it has brand recognition, but there's a lot also of brands here na Japanese eh. So it depends on what you're looking at. Ang dami from yung mga standalone restaurants na you have Uma, you have Omakase, then you have the ramen shops, and you have the ones selling soba na sobrang sarap. Then you have the ones also selling tempura, primarily focusing on that. So I think there's so many players here that Yoshinoya has to compete with all of those as well. So it's the brand. This is what I'll say, Mike Reyes. The brand of Jollibee, Mang Inasal, and I think Greenwich Chowking is massively much bigger than Yoshinoya. Ganun din, the brand of Shakey's is much bigger than Yoshinoya. The brand of Max, Pancake House are bigger, and ganun din. Even Teriyaki Boy, which is owned by the Max Group, has a larger footprint also. Then madami pa. Then you have the Moment Group, then Typhoon, Manam. They have large brands as well. Anyways, how are you related to Patrick Miguel? Siya yung nagbigay ng Roborock sa wife ko a few months ago. Ren, Mark, Max, thank you from Las Piñas. So there. Patrick Ting, we had our insights already on on Converge yesterday. So yun. Sige, I'll just end it with this. Thank you so much to everyone who's joining us. For those who want to learn more about me, details about me, the videos that I have in YouTube, the playlist, they're in the description below. For those who want to trade Bitcoin or even US stocks, we have different brokerages also in the description below. So I guess that's it for now. I hope you guys got a lot from this, and I hope this helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon, guys, and God bless you all.